And
Right.
I know there's a lot of different opinions and a lot of things going on down there, especially when I was on one of his shows with Michael Edward. The first time he mentioned to me that there was approximately documented 30 miscarriages or spontaneous abortions from conception that occurred in that area from individuals that live in that area. And that basically can be lack of oxygen because the pollutant is in the body.
Right.
So it's taking, knowing the history of what those, it's not just the oils, because people have to remember whenever you're working with oil or rigging of that nature, they are always looking for leaks in the pipes, and there may be a history of using norms, radioactive materials to look for leaks in that area, and also the pollution, and then whatever was used to seal it up.
Right.
Like bacteria, et cetera.
Right.
Or plastics,
Yeah.
But there's multiple things that can be done, and it's looking at what is happening to the body systemically. We also created what we call a detox patch, which we put it on the person. It absorbs the sweat, and then we have it analyzed to determine in gross proportions what you could have been exposed to,
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. But all of this information is coming together, and it will be beneficial for humanity.
And what would you share with people on the West Coast, where I live, and where the water in the town that I live in has been tested for levels of cesium, and believe it or not, it's in there, and it's I think it's 0.5% or something like that. But here in California and really throughout a lot of the upper part of the United States, even as far as ways Massachusetts, we're starting to show the effects of Fukushima
Right.
in our environment. What would you suggest to people that want to, try to stay healthy through
Right.
this catastrophe?
Right. Dr. Benjamin Coldezon, Dr. Janet Hull, Hull, and myself wrote a position paper called Barefoot Radiation Guide. This was basically for someone that may not have the finances to buy a lot of kelp or other types of nutritional supplements, but to have a good balanced diet and look at that resources. And there's a website, blog, which is the barefootradiationguide.com. They can look at. And I love sea vegetables, kelps, etc. this way, so if you were fortunate to get it before any of this incident occurred and basically hoard it, then you'd have a good source. But we have to realize this. It is something that is not going away, and we're looking at cesium, radioactive iodine-131, and a number of other radioactive nucleotides. But there's also plutonium involved, and that has a half-life of 26,000 years, and it's not going to go away very fast. So the whole thing, as I've told individuals, is stay as healthy as you can. If you experience bruising, bleeding of the gums, make sure you take your vitamin C, because it is needed. You're going to have to keep certain supplements available or certain remedies available so that you do not have to succumb to the ill health effects of what radiation exposure does. And also radiation exposure, key radiation, but as compared to the Morgellons or anything along that nature, which the Russians did a beautiful position paper on nano silicon and with radioactive particle, where if that nanosilicon was in the body, the radioactive particle stayed in the body. In other words, if you have a plastomer or you have a crystal or something where it is encapsulated or caught these radioactive nucleotides,
Mm-hmm.
it stays and it radiates out versus it doesn't go through the body like it normally would go through the body or just touch the surface.
Right.
So that's going to be a whole other effect. And the thing is, radiation and chemicals were always the number one thing to cause mutation, but primarily mutations in our bacterial flora in our body, so that then it cut off different enzymes and different reactions within our body, so that we did not have function of those types of protective mechanisms.
Yep. And this is all coming to a head from a lot of different directions. And I tell folks that it's a real commitment to be on this planet now. I mean, if you want to stay here, you've got to take care of your body, and you also have to have the right mindset to get through this.
Right.
And why don't we use that as a segue to your book?
I appreciate that, because it's very true. We do not want to leave our listeners in a thing of fear, hopelessness, or anything. And Robert is right in what he's saying and what I'm saying. What we're saying is get past that fear. If it's where, hey, you're hopeless, you can't do any of this, but you have within your heart the ability to do anything you want to do. And the mind and the heart, when they become one, can move mountains.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Portals to Destiny. It's a smart little book. It's potent, and it has some wonderful imagery by Rick Dubov. Can you talk about how you met Rick and his art and how you decided to collaborate on this book?
Yes. Rick came to me at one time as a patient. We had a mutual colleague who passed away recently, within the last 2 years, Dr. George Shicard III. He was a holistic dentist in Beverly Hills, and he was in the office one time when I came in from Florida to meet with Dr. Shicard on toxicology stuff, and he met me, and he remembered that I was a toxicologist, and he had some things happen with a gland within his parotid gland that swelled up, and he went to his Oriental medicine doctor and said, well, you have to do this and that. And he goes, no, I need a toxicologist. And that's how we met again. And then when I came out to California, starting our businesses and stuff, I had the opportunity to see his art, and he was so gracious in putting the red portal and several of the portals here when we opened our office in Larchmont. Mm-hmm. And so they've always been here in the office on show for the patients or whoever comes in. And then I said, I need to have a book that tells what the story is with each one of these portals. And that's what I did 3 years ago. He and I collaborated. And it took us that long a time to find a publisher, which was Zulon Press, to print it in color. Mm-hmm. Because this particular book, audience, even though it's small and mighty like the mighty Chihuahua, it is very powerful. These words that are in it, I wrote it in an hour and a half. My business partner, Roberto Matucci, was sitting there while I was typing on the word process, or the computer rather, and it was divinely inspired. I'd look at the portals because I had a mini version of them, and I expressed what it was that I heard within my heart and my mind. And the thing is that when you read this aloud, it stimulates your DNA, just as we've had our ARC and different machines do. But what I'm saying is this does it within yourself, so that then you become the antenna, so that you can receive the blessings that occur. Even just like you said at the beginning of the show, if you've read the book totally through aloud, Robert, it'd be interesting to see what happens in 24 hours with your donations or anything like that.
Okay.
It'd be interesting. When I was on the show of our first premiere on Wednesday, I was telling how 4 people read it, and they all got a letter from the IRS saying that they were entitled to a refund, but it was like 2005, 2009. But I want to add to the list 5 people, because yesterday I got a letter from the IRS that I'm entitled to a refund too for 2010. So I tell you, we just keep reading it, and things happen in a good way. It's time to get out of fear. Enough is enough, and start healing within. Because once you heal, whatever your emotions, your physical, the pollution within the body distorts everything.
Yeah.
The cell signaling, everything, and it is the seedlings of disease. But the thing is, once you get past all that, you can receive many, many gifts that have always been there, but couldn't make the right landing, as I call it, because the coordination was wrong. The coordinates were wrong. You know.
Right. Right. Well, you have such a wonderful voice. How would you feel about reading one of the excerpts from the book?
I would love to. Which do you have a favorite?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you? How about let's see. How about the Black Indigo Portal? How about that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is nice. Let me.
Okay.
I've got a book here, so I'm okay. Okay, our audience, I hope you enjoy this, and thank you, Robert. I am the Black Indigo Portal. I am the Black Indigo Portal, the portal to the beginning of mankind's ancestors' lives on Earth. See the green, the verde of life's creation. The shimmer of gold is all of my ancestors and me as we go through life together as the greater one and the one. I am the portal that brings you into being to become one with yourself and your ancestors. I do not care who you were or what you will be. All you have to know is that you are you and I am you. I have been with you as a single shimmer in the evening sky, and I will go with you always throughout your time on Earth. I will be there in the beginning and at the end of your life. For I am you, and you are me, no matter how odd it seems. It is the truth you seek. Open my portal to become the true you, and the one who only seeks the truth of all beings, all knowing, and all the heavens.
That is wonderful.